The sun rose gently over a quiet, upscale neighborhood tucked away from the city noise. Lush trees lined the sidewalks, and birds chirped softly in the distance. Among the well-kept homes stood one that drew every gaze, a sprawling gated mansion with sleek glass windows, manicured gardens, and a long curved driveway. It was the kind of place people assumed belonged to a celebrity or someone with old money. But the owner was Monica Harris, a brilliant and self-made tech entrepreneur. She had built her empire from the ground up, starting with nothing but a laptop, determination, and long nights filled with code. Now she was known around the world for her innovations in software security. After 3 months overseas attending business meetings, conferences, and closing major deals, Monica was finally home. Her private driver dropped her off just outside the main gate. Dressed in simple jeans, sneakers and a hoodie, with no makeup and her curls tucked under a cap, she looked nothing like the glamorous photos on magazine covers. But Monica didn't care. She was just happy to be back in her space, to smell her garden, see her dog, and sleep in her own bed. She stepped up to the gate with a tired but warm smile. Monica walked toward the iron gates of her mansion, her tired eyes scanning the familiar stone walls and lush greenery. She reached for her phone to dial the security team, but before she could, a young man in a security uniform stepped forward, blocking her path. He was new, Monica didn't recognize him, and his stance was brash, his attitude even more so. The security guard, who couldn't have been much older than 25, glanced at her with a smirk. "Can I help you?" he asked, his tone dismissive. Monica looked him over, raising an eyebrow. "I'm Monica Harris, I live here." The guard didn't flinch, eyes narrowing as he scanned her from head to toe. His gaze lingered on her casual appearance, the lack of makeup, the loose hoodie and sneakers. His expression twisted in confusion and a hint of disdain. "Yeah, right," he said, crossing his arms. "The owner would never look like you." Monica felt the sting of his words, but she kept her composure. "I don't know who told you that, but I am the owner. I've been traveling for work," he scoffed, his cocky smile fading into arrogance. "You're not the owner. You're just some housekeeper trying to sneak in. You better leave before I call the cops." Monica's heart sank. She was used to being underestimated, but this was something else entirely. She held her ground, trying to keep her voice steady. "I'm not going anywhere, please open the gate." He shook his head, pulling out his phone as he dialed. "I don't know what kind of scam you're running, but the police will be here soon. Don't make this worse." Monica stood her ground, the cool air pressing against her skin, but the heat of the moment made her pulse quicken. She could feel the eyes of passers-by on her. A few neighbors were out walking their dogs, while a jogger ran by, slowing down to glance at the scene unfolding in front of her mansion's gate. The guard, sensing an audience, grew bolder. He raised his voice. "I told you, lady, get off the property. This isn't your house. If you don't leave, I'll call the cops on you." Monica's throat tightened. She knew she was right, but his words made her feel small, almost invisible. People were watching. Her neighbors exchanged confused looks, whispering to each other, but no one stepped forward to help. Some even seemed to enjoy the spectacle, curious to see if she'd back down. A few phones were raised to capture the confrontation, clicking sounds filling the air. Monica could see the lights of cameras flashing in the corner of her vision. She knew this would be all over social media soon, and she'd become the subject of cruel commentary. The guard's mockery stung deeper with each word, as though her worth was being stripped away by his assumption. The pain of being judged, not by her abilities or success, but by her appearance, was a familiar but no less painful feeling. Monica swallowed hard, feeling the weight of humiliation bear down on her. She could feel her hands shaking as she struggled to keep her emotions in check. Without another word, she turned on her heel, her back straight, her face composed, but inside, her heart was heavy. She walked away, her mind racing, trying to hold back the tears that threatened to fall. Monica kept walking, each step feeling heavier than the last. The anger simmering inside her was almost unbearable, but she refused to give the guard the satisfaction of seeing her break. She didn't want to escalate the situation further. Instead of dialing the police like the guard had threatened, she reached for her phone and called her attorney. Monica, her attorney Claire, answered quickly, sensing the urgency in Monica's voice. what's going on? Monica took a deep breath, trying to steady her emotions. I just got into a situation at the gate. There's a new security guard, and he's refusing to let me in. He doesn't believe I'm the owner of the house. Are you okay? Claire asked, her voice soft with concern. I'm fine, but he was rude, dismissive. It was humiliating. I need you to look into this. I'm not letting this slide. Claire paused. Okay, I'll handle this. First we'll need the footage. I'll call the security company, get their version, and we'll go from there. Monica didn't hang up just yet. Also, please let my house manager Angela know. I want to get to the bottom of this. I'll be inside waiting. After hanging up, Monica called Angela. The house manager's voice was warm, but there was a note of confusion. Monica, what happened? Angela, I need you to check the staff roster. There's a new security guard at the gate, and something feels off. I want to know who hired him. Angela promised to check immediately, and Monica hung up, her mind racing. An hour later, Monica sat in her home office, reviewing the footage from the gate. Her heart sank as she watched the security guard dismiss her at the entrance. His mocking tone, his disbelief, every word was etched into her mind. It was worse than she had thought. She hadn't expected racism, but now, it was all too clear. Angela called back shortly after. Monica, I checked. This guy was hired through a temp service. He wasn't part of our usual security team. And Angela hesitated. He broke your direct hiring rules. I'll take care of it. Monica's attorney Claire called next. We're preparing legal action. This isn't just about the guard, it's about the security company and their breach of contract with you. We'll make sure they know who they've messed with. Monica sat back in her chair, her pulse steadying as the pieces began to fall into place. She wouldn't let this stand. The guard would face consequences for his actions, and she'd make sure the company knew exactly what they were up against. The morning sun cast a golden glow across the mansion, but there was an unmistakable tension in the air. Monica had spent the night strategizing, gathering her thoughts, and preparing for the moment she would confront the man who had humiliated her. But this time things would be different. She wasn't going to let anyone diminish her accomplishments, or make her feel like an outsider in her own life. As her luxury car pulled into the driveway, Monica felt a sense of calm determination settle over her. Her designer blazer fit perfectly, her heels clicked confidently on the pavement, and her makeup was flawless, polished and professional. She had nothing to prove to anyone, but she intended to make one thing very clear: she was the owner of this mansion, and she demanded respect. As the car came to a stop in front of the gate, Monica saw the same security guard standing there, now looking more out of place than ever. He was speaking with a colleague, but when he turned and saw Monica approaching, his face dropped. The guard's eyes widened, and his mouth went dry. Monica could see the moment he recognized her, the woman he had called a housekeeper the day before, the woman he had dismissed without a second thought. Now, standing before him in business attire and exuding an air of authority, she was a stark contrast to the version he had so easily written off. Behind her, the first of several news vans pulled up. A reporter with a camera crew followed close behind, their microphones and cameras already trained on Monica. They had gotten wind of the incident at the gate, and were eager to cover the story. Monica walked forward, not breaking her stride. She ignored the guard, letting him stew in the realization that he had been wrong. There was no anger in her step, just a calm confidence that made the tension around the gate even more palpable. As she neared the entrance, the house manager, Angela, stepped out from the side of the mansion. "Good morning, Miss Harris," she greeted her with a smile, addressing Monica with the respect she had earned, not just as a homeowner, but as a woman of power. The guard stood frozen in disbelief. The truth had hit him like a punch to the gut. Monica Harris, the woman he had humiliated, was the very owner of the mansion he had been guarding. And now, as the news cameras recorded everything, he realized just how deeply he had misjudged her. The moment Monica stepped past the gate, the air seemed to shift. The guard, still standing there in stunned silence, was suddenly surrounded by the whirlwind of Monica's power and influence. It wasn't long before his manager arrived, rushing to the scene. The head of the security firm, a middle-aged man with a polished suit and an uneasy expression, hurried toward Monica. His face was pale, as he offered her a stiff handshake. "I apologize, Miss Harris," he said, his voice faltering. "I had no idea this was happening. I deeply regret the actions of our staff member. This should never have occurred." Monica didn't respond to him directly. Instead, her gaze turned to the security guard, still standing in the background, looking mortified. She didn't need to say a word. The head of the company, clearly aware of the gravity of the situation, turned to the young man. "You're fired," he stated flatly. "Effective immediately, you will leave the premises now." The guard's face flushed a deep shade of red, as he sputtered, but there was no sympathy from anyone around. Monica's cool demeanor didn't change as she watched him walk away, his future uncertain after the public spectacle. Turning back to the head of the security firm, Monica didn't waste time. "I'm canceling the contract with your agency. Effective immediately," she said. "And I'll be notifying all other partners." Later that day, Monica issued a powerful public statement condemning racism and unconscious bias. It spread quickly, going viral across social media platforms. Her words resonated deeply with people everywhere, sparking conversations and calls for change. Celebrities, activists, and influencers from all walks of life publicly supported her. They applauded her strength and courage in standing up for herself, and the outrage over the incident only amplified her message. Monica's stance became a symbol of empowerment, a reminder that no one should ever be judged by the color of their skin or the assumptions others make about them. That evening, Monica sat alone in her garden, the soft hum of crickets filling the air. The sun had set, leaving a peaceful stillness around her mansion. She leaned back in the chair, her hands resting on her lap, and gazed out at the flowers she had carefully cultivated over the years. Despite the tranquility, a wave of emotion swept over her. She thought about how far she had come, how many years she'd spent building her empire, battling doubts, and proving her worth in a world that had often overlooked her. Raised by a single mother who had worked tirelessly to give her everything, Monica knew what it meant to fight for every opportunity. As a child, she had been ignored, underestimated, and even told she wasn't capable of achieving anything. Those early struggles, those feelings of being invisible, had shaped her into the woman she was today. But today was different. This time she had fought back, not with anger, but with power and grace. She hadn't let anyone define her. She had stood her ground, demanded respect, and emerged victorious. It wasn't just about the security guard, it was a statement. She wasn't just surviving anymore, she was thriving unapologetically. Monica closed her eyes, letting the cool evening air soothe her. She had won. And in that moment, she finally felt seen. Monica's victory didn't stop at the gates of her mansion. She knew the importance of paving the way for future generations, and so she established a scholarship fund for young Black women in tech. Her mission was clear: to empower those who, like her, had been overlooked or underestimated. The fund would provide resources, mentorship, and opportunities to help these women break through barriers and make their mark in the tech world. Her story spread far beyond social media, becoming a symbol of strength, dignity, and the fight for respect. She had turned a moment of humiliation into a platform for change. As the story of Monica Harris resonated with millions, a final message echoed in the minds of those who heard it. Never assume someone's worth by their appearance, because the person you're dismissing today might just be the one signing your paycheck tomorrow. As Monica's story unfolds, we're reminded of the power of standing up for ourselves, and the strength it takes to fight against assumptions and prejudice. From the moment she was wrongly dismissed to the powerful stance she took, Monica showed us that no one should ever be underestimated, no matter their appearance. Her story is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, and how we all have the ability to change the narrative. If you believe in the power of standing up for what's right, share this video, and join the conversation. Let's keep breaking down barriers, supporting each other, and reminding the world that dignity, strength, and respect should never be defined by how someone looks. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more empowering stories that inspire change.